Slaptail Squad, assemble.
Wow, can you say this was the most frustrating attempt at podcasting?
No,
I'm pretty sure we've had worse.
Actually, this wasn't as frustrating. You made it frustrating. I was just relaxing.
There's an R. It's frustrating.
Frustrating.
Okay, frustrating, but it wasn't frustrating for me because I was there talking with the Swan about things in general. And I must confess, though, you did exactly what I would have done. Ignore all help, yelled at the ones close to me trying to help me, and probably would have been a little bit more civil if it was outsiders that I didn't know. So you followed the exact nerd path I would have done.
Well, do you see why it would be frustrating? You said everything that I was already doing and had already done. I'm like,
yeah,
okay,
no, I understand that. I understand that.
Do you know how patronizing it is for somebody to tell you how to do it when you're like, dude, I've already done all that. I know how to do it. I kept telling you, I'm like, you weren't catching the hint. I'm like, I've been doing this for 3 years, dude.
He's trying to distract you.
Yeah, I do get it.
He's just trying to distract you so that you would not be as frustrated.
Well, you know what? I'm going to talk about
making you more frustrated about his distraction.
And the thing is also with that, when it's friends and family trying to help you, you have a little more liability or leeway. I should say, not liability, but leeway with how you can treat them. If this were the real world and somebody was trying to help you out in the real world, that a client, you were like, oh, it's a good idea, but I've been doing this. You would have been a little bit more civil than. Shut the fuck up, Swan. I know what I'm doing.
No, I wouldn't have. No, I wouldn't have been. I would do this. I would do the same exact fucking thing. I'd be like, been doing this for a while. Shut the fuck up.
So
yeah, especially when it's no, but it's not.
That's what they do.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. No, you're not listening. That's not no. You can't make that an equal assumption. What was going on was. He's giving me his opinion on stuff that he knows nothing about. That's the difference. So if I was calling tech support for an issue that I'm having, I'm not going to sit there and be rude to them. I'm going to be like, oh, I don't know. He's telling me stuff that he doesn't know how to do and giving me suggestions that he's watching on the internet. And I'm like, dude, you don't know. I've already done all that shit. And he doesn't work. And he doesn't work with a fucking Mac, which he freely admits he knows nothing about. And what I'm doing is with a Mac-based program.
Yeah, but with the same concept, what's a program but a program on a different operating system? And that's the way I approach it.
Which means the terms are all different and everything is different. You didn't even know what a MIDI was. You're like, oh, if you use this MIDI thing, yeah, dude, because you don't know what the fuck it is.
I know exactly what a MIDI is, but it's the same concept.
Yeah, the same concept, but if I'm working with something that I continuously use and you who are basing it on a concept that you don't even do, how do you think you're going to help?
Because I can relate as far as PC and Apple, while they're two different operating systems, they both have similar programs or similar connections sometimes.
Oh, so let me make this loose connection that you're making then. Then because you're a human being, I guess that means that you are able to correctly treat someone with type 2 diabetes who's out of control with their blood sugars because you're a human. Because you're a human and because you're a human, you follow those same sort of concepts and you have that same sort of biology.
You know what, B-Man? You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I have the right to treat anybody with diabetes type 2 or type 5.
I am the Beaveman, and this is my show, and by God, it's been fucking frustrating, but I'm going to get right into it. This is the Slaptail Squad, and if you're listening, you're a member of the great Slaptail Nation, and I am your Lord and Savior.
And Master of the Universe.
Master of the Universe, death from above, fun from below, etc.
Oh, no.
Etc. And we're going to jump right into it, because this is what makes me happy.
I have a question. So, since we had our recent church experience, should we have a response like church does every time you say, I am the Beaveman? Should we be like, praise you to the highest power or something? Should we come up with some response?
In a narcissistic way. I like that.
Praise you to the logarithm?
Yeah, something.
Wow.
We could. You might have to come up with something, some response for all of your Beavemanites followers.
Beaveman. That's almost narcissistic. Right. I like
Well,
that.
isn't that what church is?
I don't know if
No,
it is or isn't.
I don't know. Anyway,
So you had a church experience? What happened?
we had to go to a church mass.
Ah,
And it,
yes,
yeah,
just recently.
yeah, yeah.
And how was that? Did you
No,
smoke
it's
or burst into flames
no.
on
I
impact?
didn't. I didn't. Nope.
You didn't swear out loud like, or the B-man didn't say, "What the fuck is
No,
this?"
no. It was not. It was a somber moment. So no,
Of
it was
course it
just
was.
being respectful and sitting there minding my own business. But it did make me realize that they changed a whole bunch of stuff about Catholic Church. I couldn't tell you the stuff they changed, but the words are different.
No,
Like the one, yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
you probably heard Latin.
No, you
No,
forget.
it's fucking English, Rons.
No, it's funny.
No,
It's,
I can't
it's-
tell the difference between English
This-
and Latin.
This just goes to show that the Ronz is an expert of everything because you just said that a bunch of stuff changed and he's like, no, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
So now-
Have you attended a Catholic mass
Now
recently?
the Ronz is a devout Catholic and he knows exactly what the mass was.
No, I'm not. I'm not a devout.
Well, he knows
Catholic.
exactly what the mass was like when we went, when I went, 30 years ago compared to when we went 2 weeks ago.
Well,
Yeah.
it's sort of like the PC, Apple, right? Latin, English, it's the same.
No, they're different.
Well, each mass is
I think
different.
it used to be like, didn't it used to be praise be to God or something like
Yes.
that? And now it's something different.
Let's distinguish now. Honestly, the Beaveman knows more about this and you know more about this, but there are several different types of masses given, and a funeral mass given to the deceased is probably going to be completely than your Sunday mass. Completely different.
No, they did
No,
they did a
no.
Sunday mass. That's what they did. And when you go to Catholic weddings, they do a wedding ceremony, but then you have a regular Catholic mass. That's what
Yeah.
they did. They did the same thing.
And all the readings and the like responses that go to it are the same.
Yeah. I remember going
Regardless
to a
of the
Catholic funeral
content.
mass a couple of years ago.
Like stand up, sit down, say
Yep.
this, stand
All
up,
that.
sit down, say that, respond
Yep.
back, sit down, walk up here.
Yes,
sit
and it's
down.
because of that. It's because of that repetition that what do you call it? That format that they follow. That's how we knew that things were different. They did all the same stuff, but they changed some words.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Are you
they
sure
used
you
to have.
just didn't doze off and wake up and?
Nope. Because both of us looked at each other and we're like, now it's like something Lord our highest or something like that. I was like, what the heck is that?
They extended a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And they said a whole lot of stuff
Yeah.
before the communion.
Yeah.
where
Well, there's
it used
this
to be-
one. There's this one very simple line that they have, and they said, "Now we will profess the mystery of faith," or whatever. And it's 3 short lines. It's God has died, God has risen, God has come again. But now it's like a fucking paragraph that they say. I'm like, what the fuck happened there?
Are you just saying fucking
No,
paragraph?
no, see, when I attended mass, I think about a year ago, right?
Catholic mass?
Yeah, Catholic mass.
Okay.
I think that's exactly what they just said. That first phrase, right?
But
3
now it
short
was
phrases.
this big, long,
But that's not what they did.
Drawn
They might
out
have changed
thing.
it just for the funeral.
No.
Oh my
it's
God.
still Catholic
Oh my
mass.
God.
All it was Catholic mass. That's what they do. They just tack on Catholic mass. They still do their funeral part of it, but they always have a mass. Just like when you go to a wedding, it's not a totally different mass for weddings
I never said
or
it
for
was.
funerals. No, you just said it was. You're like, it's probably different for the funeral.
It's probably different for the funeral.
No,
It's
the
not.
thing
It's just mass. It's this. They don't change the
I
mass.
understand. I thought. So let me explain myself. I thought they added into the mass. They didn't change it. They just added more stuff into it.
No,
So-
they don't have a
No,
special.
they changed the words for this one.
Well, he's not going to
Fantastic.
believe us. Okay, so
I
basically,
believe
he's
you.
not going
I
to.
believe you.
No, he doesn't believe us. He thinks that they just have a.
Just
They
said
have.
I
They say
believe you.
things. They say things differently for the funeral.
Yeah.
That's what he thinks. But now we're going to shoot that down because now what's going to happen?
One of us is going to pass away, and then we're going to have a Catholic funeral, and you're just going to yell at the corpse, going, "See, I told you, but you're dead now, so you can't see if I'm right or wrong."
No, I was waiting for Swan to provide her proof.
I don't have any proof.
Motherfucker, you called your goddamn aunt.
She said it was not different. She said she didn't remember, and she was going to try to remember at church. But
Okay,
she
except
didn't.
that's not what you told me. You said that
What did
you
I
said
say?
that. Oh my god, are
I
you
don't
fucking
remember.
senile?
I probably
You
have
called your
amnesia.
fucking aunt right away, and she said that they did change words.
Yes.
So wait a minute. No, shut the fuck up,
yes.
Swan. Shut the fuck up, Swan. So now why are you changing what you said? Are you
She
fucking
said-
senile? Do you just
Yes,
make up shit
yes.
in your fucking head? You probably
might-
didn't even talk to your aunt.
No, I did talk to my aunt.
No,
She
you didn't.
said they
Then I'm
don't
just gonna have to call my mother. I'm gonna have
they
to call my
don't
mother.
do the peace be with you part, and they changed like I think she thought I was talking about how they changed like
Wait a minute. What do you mean the
Father
peace?
part at the end.
PC. Oh, peace be
They
with
say
you part.
peace be with you and also with you, and then they like shake hands and shit. And who wants to shake hands in the middle of a pandemic?
They probably changed that for the pandemic.
My aunt's church did, but this church didn't. They wanted
All right.
everybody to like touch each other and shit.
All right.
No,
then-
thank you.
So when I attended mass pre-COVID, that's exactly what they did.
And
Right?
they all drink out of the same wine cup and nastiness to begin with. They did not do the wine cup.
All right. Understood. Right. So, I guess it really depends on what church you go to. It would be up to the priest to change anything.
That's not how Catholic Church works. You can't change.
I agree, but they're allowed to modify it for the pandemic.
No. Oh, yeah, that's different. And no, they're not. Really, they still have to.
Didn't,
Oh my god, shut the fuck up, Swan. Shut the
I was just
fuck
gonna
up.
say
I'm
the same
fucking
thing that
talking.
You're gonna say, but I
Okay,
didn't
what am I
hear
gonna?
you.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. You're so good at telling me what I was gonna say. Go ahead.
You were gonna say they didn't omit it. They just don't serve it. They still had the wine, and they still blessed the water and wine and whatnot. But the priest was the only one who had it.
Actually, not what I was gonna say.
Not what you were gonna say? Oh, what did
No.
you say? What were you gonna say then? Why don't you tell us what you're gonna say? I'll shut
What
up
I was
now.
gonna say is that
Oh, come on, tell us what you're going to say.
the Catholic Church is not a franchise that you can own on your own and change however you want to change it. That's what I was going to say. What people who are not Catholic don't fucking understand, which is what Ron's is not, is no, you don't get to modify and do whatever the fuck you want. It's delegated down to you.
I would disagree with you.
Well, you're fucking wrong. The priest. Oh my god, there's a fucking strict hierarchy in the Catholic Church, dude. You
Really?
don't make the priest, the lowest priest does not make the decisions for his church. The bishop does and dictates to him. And it's dictated to the bishop.
Or the
It's
Monsignor.
a hierarchy.
What is
It's
it?
a hierarchy.
What is it? Priest, Monsignor, and Bishop?
There's no Monsignor for Catholics.
Yeah, let's go ask Father Mike, who's a personal friend of my family's. Yeah, when we call him Monsignor Mike. Yeah, we'll just say it's
Are you Catholic? So you're Catholic?
I was raised Catholic.
That's not what I asked you. Are you Catholic?
No, I'm not a practicing Catholic, as they say.
So why are you calling him Monsignor?
Because that's his title.
Fuck that! Like you just said his name was Mike.
Bill. His
You
name's
said his name's Mike.
No, priest
like, what
goes
up,
by
Mike?
first name.
What?
Anyway.
It's either Father Mike or Monsignor Mike or Bishop Mike or whoever he is.
Or how about
Wait,
just
wait.
Mike? Because I ain't gonna
So
call
which is
him
it?
Father
Is it
nothing.
wait a minute? Which is it? Is he father? Is he Monsignor or is he bishop?
Monsignor.
I guess he's a cardinal because you're just throwing out all kinds of fucking terms.
No, I've got proof. I'll show you the proof of.
You're gonna send us what? Proof of
He's
him
gonna
touching some little boy's penis?
I was gonna say he was touching a child.
Whoa.
I know he's a priest because he touched my penis.
No, Monsignor Mike is a very close friend of my sister's, right? And
now he's a close friend of your sister's.
he's a very close friend of my
Did he
family's.
not? Wait a minute. Okay, so if somebody knows my cousin, but I don't know that person, so they're a close personal friend now. Is that how that works?
My sister is an ultra person, right, in the Catholic Church.
Like an alter ego?
Yeah, like an alter ego, right? So she is very heavily into the Catholic Church.
Okay, so there was something that I thought was funny that I wanted to talk about, but now I'm just going to go down this rabbit hole because I want to hear all these things that Ron has to say.
Well, no,
So your
that's it.
sister is a big altar person in the Catholic Church. What does that mean exactly?
altar. Well, before the
Server,
changeover
altar
was
server.
altar server, I guess, is the thing, right?
She
It
serves
used
at
to be
the
altar
altar.
boys,
What
and
is
then
that?
they said, okay, now anybody can serve, I guess.
Wait a minute. Wait. How old is your sister?
I think 41.
Your sister is an altar person at the age of
Whoa,
41?
whoa, whoa, whoa,
So
whoa!
what you're saying, they don't have any children to be altar boys
I
and
will
altar
let you
girls?
demean me, but don't demean my sister.
He's
That's
just asking questions. Wants
I
clarification
I want
because the
clarification because
altar
I'm pretty sure
servers
you're
are
wrong.
like
Because I'm pretty sure you're wrong. That's why I'm
they're like
asking.
children who. So your sister wears a robe and like helps
yeah,
like ring the bell in
Your
church,
sister sits
yeah,
and she sits off to the side and she rings the bell and does all that other stuff.
yeah.
or does she? Is she an? Do they call them ushers? Where she like
You sure that
assists
your
with
sister's not like an usher or a deacon or
No,
a
she's not a deacon.
or one of those people who comes up and does the readings?
No, she's not a deacon.
So you're saying at 41 years old, your church has no children to fill the traditional role of altar boy or altar girl.
I'm not sure if they do or not.
So does she dress in the robe and do
Yeah.
that, or does
Oh
she pass out the communion?
yeah. She
Like
dresses in the robe.
that's fucking weird. I've never seen an adult altar
There's
server. Oh, I want to go to church now.
yeah. Now
I
I
think
want to
we're
go
going
to
to
church.
church for the wrong reasons.
I really wish I had a call-in line right now. I wish this was live and I could just ask people like in the audience. Okay, fact check Ron's real quick. I want to know if adults are being altar people.
At what
So,
age do you
Why
get cut
could
off
the
from being
question
an
is why
altar
couldn't they
server?
be?
because I think once you're confirmed, you don't do that role anymore.
Maybe she never has been confirmed.
What do you
I
mean confirmed?
it's traditionally a child role. It's not traditionally an adult role. So that's why we're asking. That's why we're fucking with you. We're like you.
Oh, I know, I understand that, but
The jobs and the roles that you have change as you age and stuff. That it's not like I mean, that's why the role was called altar boy in the first place. You know, it's not like altar man. No, you usually do something. You usually do something different, and that's bizarre. What I don't think that
okay,
showing us a robed person is
okay.
is
Can you see that?
So is your sister on the left of this
Yeah,
picture?
yeah, she is. She's
So
the one in
yeah,
the white
she's
robe.
is she's okay, I'm just gonna refrain from what I was gonna say.
What's that?
well. She
I
said
mean
she was going to refrain.
yeah, I was gonna refrain. You want me to is she a little special? Like do they keep her in the childlike role? Like
No.
no.
So there's the robe, if you can see that.
Well, it could be Halloween, and she could be just frequenting a Catholic
That's
church
a
for some reason.
costume.
That's why it's at St. Joe, right? Yeah.
Ooh, we're about to go visit St. Joe. I'm sure there's lots of them. But don't give us the address because we don't want to badmouth any churches online right
Well,
now.
I will
Not that
say
we're
this.
bad mouthing.
No, we're not bad mouthing. We're just saying that it's a little bit odd, and I know that
I've
personally,
never
if
seen it. Yeah.
I've never seen an adult be the altar person.
At this particular parish, they do. They have more than one adult do it.
So why don't they have the children do it?
I don't know. I've never asked.
So
It's
this is
never been a concern.
my question. I think that probably the answer to that question is they probably don't have any children that want to do it. That's probably why they have adults doing it. You know, you kind of have to have children that want to do it in order to have.
I'm pretty sure they do have some children that do it, but not all of them are available at the time. I'm just guessing
That's why
here.
lots of them are trained, and it's not always the same child every week. Like
Yeah, you have a
had
schedule.
rotation. Yeah.
When I was an altar boy, there was a rotation.
So, it was your turn to be touched by the priest, and then it was somebody else's next week.
Yeah, but mine didn't ever do that, and it was kind of insulting. Our
Not
priest,
to you anyway. He was like,
no,
I don't.
I was always like, "What? You don't like little fatties? You don't like little
Yes.
fat? You don't like what? You don't like little fat Mexican boys? That's fucked up."
That is. So,
No, 'cause,
what was this?
My aunt is an usher at church. She has a schedule to do that, and like
Yeah,
she gets
my
to
dad's an
serve.
usher. Yeah.
She gets to like serve the communion or whatever on certain days. But she's not. I'm pretty sure she's never been the altar server. I'm gonna have to ask her on that one.
Yeah, so she's deep within the Catholic religion. So, and if there were changes, to the church. I'm pretty sure if I asked her, she could tell me.
Well, it's probably been slowly changed over time, so she's not going to know what you're talking about. Because I'm basing it on the last time I went to church,
30
which
years
was
ago when you were a child.
no. I mean, the last time I went to church was probably when we lived in Pawpaw, and it wasn't different then. So that
Yeah.
was what 11 years ago, 12 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, about 11 years ago.
How do you know?
I was
We
wondering if
didn't
you would
even know
catch
you
on.
then.
No. I guess it would be like 13 years ago. 13.
13-ish years ago. Yeah.
But it wasn't different then. It was the same.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm trying to explain to Bronze, is if you go to a Catholic church here, and then you go to one in Indiana, and you go to one in California, they're all going to say the same thing. It's a script. The only thing that is generally different is the homily.
And the closing remarks or who the mass is dedicated to.
So my aunt just texted her, by the way.
Why?
Said,
Why the fuck did you text your aunt? What the
because
fuck?
I wanted to know. I said, does your church have altar servers, and are they children or adults? She said children.
All right.
So just in case you wanted to know, their church is children.
I'd like to know what the fuck the term actually is now, because if they don't say altar boy.
Altar servers.
That's fucking lame. I think even if you're a little girl, it should be an altar boy. It just sounds better.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how long ago I was a altar boy. I was an altar boy so long ago that I remember when the Catholic Church started allowing girls to do it.
That was when I was a little kid. They did.
I was like, this is egregious. I didn't even know what that word was.
You just used it because
I just used it.
They can also be called acolytes, just in case you want to know.
Oh, that's way more occulty. We should definitely go with acolyte.
Yeah.
I kind of like that word, acolyte.
It sound more culty.
Yeah, that's what. Maybe I should just start calling the followers of the Slaptail Squad acolytes. That's kind of badass. I kind of like it.
Yeah, you should.
The acolytes.
So then we need a response. So every time you say a certain phrase, they all can respond with certain phrase. So that'll be your ultimate new thing.
You know what I did realize though, that the host that you get is not any more tasty than it ever was. It still doesn't taste good.
No, it's not good.
I remember we were in the field one time and we were all starving because it was one of those times when we didn't have time to eat. We were just doing way too much stuff, and it was very cold and it was rainy, and it was in probably like January or February. We're all very hungry, and I remember that the chaplain came out there to visit us, and one of the guys in our platoon, he was kind of funny. He's like from New Jersey. He's like, hey there, chaplain. You got any of them there Jesus snacks that you could share with us? We're all kind of hungry there. And he was like, what the fuck? I'm like, dude, you're about to get your ass kicked by the chaplain. That's not cool. Our chaplain was kind of badass, though. But anyway, I don't recommend that you call them Jesus snacks.
What would
How
you
about
call
Jesus cookies? They're not really cookies, though, either. It might sound more
they
appealing if it was a cookie.
They just call them the host. Or whatever.
The host. That doesn't sound good.
Hey,
either.
Rons, does doing the podcast, is that a source of embarrassment for you?
Why? No, it's not.
I'm just wondering.
Actually, the way you made it out to be was it's
honor
a form
and a
of
privilege.
therapy.
No, I just meant in general. Like if you were looking back on your life, say 10 years from now, and you thought about doing the podcast, let's say 10 years from now, that RJ, your beloved child, was going to run for public office. Do you think it would be a blight on his potential career that you did this podcast? Is that something that you would have to hide? What do you think?
No, because someone's going to dig up something. It's like if the boy decides to run for political office, right? And
I don't know, right? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Right.
That's what we're trying to get that answer from you.
He's very busy right now.
No, I just texted my sister because Swan texted her aunt. My sister responded.
I'm not an altar boy.
No,
she said, I'm not an altar boy, you fucking moron.
No, she goes, I've always been an altar. Why? And I said, just a question. And she now is a catechism teacher and she's been doing it pretty much for 20 years, right? So,
But she's still an altar boy.
well, I don't know if she's not a deacon, but no. So it's the way she's involved in the church. So
I think you should ask her. I think you should ask her why the fuck she's still one. Like, did you? Are you? Ask her if she's Peter Pan.
I was just
No.
gonna say that she's like Peter. It's like her way to be Peter Pan.
This is the
No.
lamest. This is the lamest form of going to Neverland imaginable.
No,
Just never. I don't ever want to grow up because I want to be an altar boy for life.
no.
Once an
no.
altar boy.
Look at it.
always
He's scared.
an
He's scared
altar
to ask
boy.
her. He's scared to ask her.
He doesn't want to be insulting to her cult. I mean, religion.
Anyway,
Her dedication to her cult.
so you don't think this would be a blight on RJ's career if they look back and they're like, you know what, this guy's got a squeaky clean past, and I think I'd vote for him. But his father did this really off the fucking wall podcast.
And that brings us to our snowflake society, if you want to call it, because people tend to get bent out of shape with things that are said, or friends of you that say stuff. So there would be some sort of disassociation if you were to run for political office and say, no, that was my dad's podcast. That has nothing to do with me. All right. Or it was all humor.
I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, and I understand that, but you would say this was all done in humor. And I think we've got a lot of comedians right now going through that same BS, that it's just humor, but someone's got a bug up their ass saying, oh, but you said this 20 years ago. And it's like, yeah, it's a joke. Don't you get it? No. Well, now you're ostracized from performing, right? Will it hurt his political career? Hopefully it won't, because I know I've said things on this podcast, right? You've said things. And could it kill your career? If someone wanted to take it to that next level, yes, it could. You would have to, and no matter how much you think it's humorous and I think it's humorous, there's going to be that one mental fucking case out there that takes it to the next level. Like, well, he should have been more aware of not hurting so-and-so's feelings, because everybody's going to get bent out of whack. I mean, when we make a joke about Tremonde, who's openly gay to us, and you said, well, gays can have children too, Ron. And we make light of that. I have no problem with Tremonde being gay, but you listen to the podcast, it sounds like I'm homophobic. Now, that's further from the truth. We all know
You're
that.
the one who brought it up.
We know that you're not homophobic.
Yeah, not homophobic. Homo-wanting.
You're more like you are.
Homo-inviting.
It's homophilic, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Homophilic.
Yo,
Is that an actual word? Because if that's not a word, I'm copywriting that word.
But
Yeah.
the more we look into it, the more people are going to go, well, the Ron said this 20 years ago. Now he can't have a job. I'm like, fuck you, right? I don't.
If I want Tremonde on my shoulders, I'll have Tremonde on my shoulders.
And
guys, first of all, I don't really think you'd have to worry about it, because everybody and their mother's brother's father's sister's cousin has a podcast now, to include every freaking TV movie star. They've decided that they all want to do podcasting as well.
Yes, I agree with you. However, with the
and their podcasts are not better than mine.
I know that, but
honestly,
when someone digs deep enough and finds the BS, sort of like the what was the vaccination with the horse tranquilizer crap, right?
Vaccination.
Ivermectin? For COVID. It was a horse.
That's not a vaccination. That's not a vaccination.
Yeah.
It's a treatment. It's not a treatment.
It's not a treatment. It's not a treatment.
Yeah, it's not a treatment, but someone's coming around and saying, they'll dig up your past like, oh, this is what you recommended 10 years ago. You're an idiot, right? That's the reason why. And no matter what you can do to backtrack it and say, listen, that was me 10 years ago. That's not me now. Or that was all done in humor, right? You're still somewhere. It's always going to get butthurt somewhere, always. And will it hurt his political career if he ever decides to run? Hopefully it won't, right? But if someone wants to hold him accountable for, I'm pretty sure that they will, right?
I think it's more likely that if he decides he wants to have a political career, it's more likely that the fact that his aunt never stopped being an altar boy, that's probably
ultra person.
That's probably more damaging. What about you, Swan? Is there anything that you, or if the baby Swan decided to run for political office, is there anything that you think that you've done that would hinder her chances? Because that's what they like to do. Like, that's what Ron's saying, is that they like to, even if you're squeaky clean, it doesn't matter. Now they're going to dig up stuff on your children or what, like kind of like they did with Biden. They're like, oh, Hunter Biden did all this, or whichever Biden did all this. I'm like, what does that have to do with? What does that have to do with Biden himself? Like,
Nothing.
there's no individual. There's nothing that you do that is representative of what your child's character is. They're their own person.
I mean, I'm kind of a prude, so there's probably not very much that they're going to be able to dig up. So we're like, your mom is such a prude.
No,
When-
no. What if they dig up this podcast?
We can't use the podcast as an example. We just use that for
Yes, you can. We've just said that.
I mean, I'm sure they can find some drunk, puke, passed out pictures from 20 years ago.
Oh, so you would say that you had a drinking problem and you're sober now. Good on you.
Yeah, good for me. No.
And that might actually help her political career. So your mother
Yeah.
was a drunk. Was she drunk while you were pregnant? Well, she was pregnant with you.
Nope, not at all.
And you know what? And you married a Latino person, so there's an interracial marriage going on there, so that might help your political career.
Or not.
Yeah, a minority. I married a minority.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not a minor, a minority.
I mean, what do you think? What are they going to find?
For you?
Yeah. I mean, I swear a lot. So probably that your mom says the F word too much.
Well, that's one thing. I mean, in your field of work, it's okay to let out steam.
No, I think that it would be more likely that they would trace it to her extended family and somehow trace that to you and say like, oh, well, your family is known. You have known drug dealers and people that have been incarcerated and people that have, theft, et cetera, stuff like that.
Yeah, but then I could be like, I haven't talked to them or associated with them in greater than X amount of years. Well, that doesn't matter because they still call looking for them, even though I tell these people who are calling looking for them that I haven't associated, talked to, or have phone numbers for them for 5+ years now. So
I just wonder if it'd be funnier if your children just disavowed your relationship. Yeah, like let's say that the boy or the daughter wanted to run for political office, and their campaign manager came up to them and said, "You know what? Your father's done a lot of stuff that we would not consider to be very helpful for your political career. So, do you think you can just in public socially distance yourself from your father, or even say that you don't have much of a relationship with your father, but not really do it? You know what I mean?"
yeah,
Because I wouldn't fault my children for that. I would say it's stupid, but I wouldn't fault them for doing that. Because who cares?
But you do. So you would say, yeah, that's probably the best thing for you to do politically wise. Distance yourself. I'll see you every other weekend or on holidays.
Yeah, I'd still think it's stupid, but I would do it because
you would support it to support their political career. Yeah.
Yeah, because who cares what anybody says about it? Honestly, the more bad shit that you would say, let's say if they use the podcast as fodder, like, oh, so you're going to try to bring bad press about our podcast. Well, you know what you're going to do when that happens? You're actually going to increase the numbers of people that listen to my podcast.
Yeah.
You're like, yay! Thanks for this free advertisement.
No bad press, as they say.
Yeah, so, and really, if you dig through our podcast, what are you going to find that's bad in the first place?
Let's see, anti-religion.
Yeah, but we always say it's joking. It's not.
But once again, are they going to hear that? Well, if it was a joke, then right? Why did you still bring it up, right? So
I don't know.
Anything out of
I don't
context.
I don't know, but for the listeners right now that are listening. If you have not noticed, the Rons has said right so frequently, and yet still doesn't get the cue when I say it right back to him.
So maybe I should take up drinking again.
You must be super drunk by now for those of you in the Slaptail Nation that are playing the Ron's right drinking game.
Yeah, bring it back, Rons. Right.
So I'm sorry, I misheard the word. Was it right or like?
Right.
Okay, right. I will remember not to say that. If that's all right with you.
All right still counts. It's a derivative of right. All right.
Listen to you with the big words.
Yeah, I don't even know if she used it correctly, quite honestly.
I think I did.
I think you did too.
Weird. I did.
I think you're right.
I don't think so.
Stop it,
Not
Ron. You're gonna get punched in the
100%
throat.
sure. No, but they could bring up all kinds of stupid shit, because we talk about sex, talk about how small my penis is. Oh no, that's just me. I just talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
The other day, Ron's, I was watching, and so this is more controversial stuff for me to say that they can bring up later. Should my children decide to run for public office? We were watching that movie. Is it just called The Invisible Man, or what's it called?
Yes. The
We're
Invisible
watching
Man.
that. We're watching that the other day, Ron. Have you seen that movie?
Which version?
The newest one.
The most latest one that came out like 4 years ago or whatever.
No, I haven't.
So anyway, pretty good movie, really. But the main character was this young lady, and we're not being a dick, but she's just not attractive. So she's not an attractive person. So the entire movie, it was hard for me to get into the movie. It was a good like psychological thriller because they were using, when you have an opponent, an enemy that you can't see, they're just basing everything on music and lighting and angles and building that fear of an enemy that you can't see. And while I was watching it, in the beginning, they kind of showed what her husband looked like, or her boyfriend. I guess was he your boyfriend?
His boyfriend,
husband?
yeah.
Whatever.
No, boyfriend.
And they were showing what he looked like, and I was like, yeah, he's too good looking for her.
He's gay. He's
he's
gay.
he's
a
gay.
narcissist or he's gay or both.
And so he's like pursuing her throughout this movie. I'm like, why? Why does he keep going after her? She's not cute. I'm like, he could do so. So I couldn't get into the movie.
She's not hideous. She's just kind of plain and homely looking.
So I couldn't get into the movie because the whole time I'm like, God, dude, you could be so much better. You're totally rich. You got nice cars. You're in good shape. You're jacked. You're handsome. Why do you want this little girl? And then, Ron, there's a scene in the movie where he's the Invisible Man. He's actually has a suit that makes him invisible. And there's a scene in the movie where he's like throwing her around, and she's like bouncing off tables, and she's just getting the shit beat out of her. And I had no sympathy in me, Ron's, because
I was like,
what did I say? No, I said it. Why do you think you're the one who said it?
You said it, but then I had a snappy saying.
Okay, but it doesn't matter. You do realize when you have these podcasts and you say stuff like that all the steam's taken out of it because you don't even know what the fuck you said, and you expect
I don't even remember.
And you expect me word for word to say what. Yeah, that's why it's not interesting. That's why your conversation with you is not interesting. Anyway,
Shut up.
The point is, what I said was, I'm like, I can't get into it. I'm like, because he's throwing her around, and I should be sympathetic like you would be to an attractive woman. But when I see her throwing around, I'm like, oh yeah, she looks like she could handle a beating.
Wow, domestic violence. I'm like, yeah, I can see why that topic is. You think I'm going to hurt my son's political or daughter's political career? Yeah, that statement right there will damage their political career.
It's just a movie, Ron's.
Yeah, I know, but the way you said it, it's like, yeah, she can handle a beating.
Except I said it in a humorous way, in which I go, this is why I'm not sympathetic, because you look at her getting thrown around, like, yeah, it looks like she could handle a beating.
Reminds me of the old joke. It's like
she's a homely little thing.
Someone once said he was dating a woman with a black eye, and as he's dating her, it's like, great, a woman who already doesn't want to listen to me. And I'm like, wow. And I thought that's a case that, you laugh at that, but that's domestic violence right there. And I'm like, that's just so wrong on so many levels. But, I can see where you're coming from, I think. But I'm not running for political careers anymore.
She wasn't wafy and tiny and all made up.
No, she was tiny. She was tiny.
But not waif-like.
Not wavy, no.
You're right. She looked like she could handle a beating. But if it was a tiny little, Barbie doll, you would feel bad for her.
Well, here's the thing. I can see why they picked her, because she was a very good actress.
Yeah, she was a good actress.
So I do like that fact that they picked somebody who was a good actress to portray that role, because it's a tough role when you don't have the majority of the acting is alone. You're doing
throwing yourself around on the ground.
No, you're not listening to what I'm saying. Shut the fuck up. No, I'm saying that her actual acting, is scenes by herself. That takes acting skill. When you don't have to interact with it, you're interacting with a set, not just other people.
Yeah. And she shows fear that is not really there. So anyway. Yeah, I get it.
So
Anyway,
I can see why they picked him, which I always admire. It's just in this case, when I was like, I think that they should have picked. I think that they picked the wrong guy.
yeah.
Why not pick someone equally? Why did you have to pick somebody who's jacked, super handsome, blah blah blah? I think that's dumb. I'm like, let's
Because
base
his
if we're basing it on talent, let's base it on talent, like British TV does. British TV doesn't just hire people because they're attractive; they go on talent, which is why their TV is better than ours.
yeah, but his whole part was even though he was handsome and rich and jacked and what he could have anyone, she didn't want him, and that's what made him want her.
Yeah, that's lame. That's dumb. Because originally that wasn't like that way. I'm sure originally she liked him, obviously.
So is this the 2020 version?
Yes. Or whatever. The most current version.
The most current one that came out. Sure.
All right, I'll have to check it out because the version I pulled up, the plot line goes completely different than what you said.
Oh, really? What's the plot line?
That the main boy, it's a boyfriend, not a husband, that stages his
We already
suicide.
said that if you were paying
Yeah,
attention.
that's what she already said.
Right, stages his suicide. Right, and then
Yes, it was the
Right.
2020 version. Yep.
okay,
Right.
then it's probably the same one I'm looking up.
No, I want to hear how the synopsis is different than what we were talking about. Why are you interrupting him, Swan? Why don't you just let him talk? He's
Okay,
going
I
to
will.
repeat. He's going to repeat a bunch of stuff that we already said.
Because he
Like-
was reading.
like
wasn't
he
paying
just did.
attention.
Like he just did, because he just said we already confirmed that it was. Because I said, was it boyfriend or married? You said boyfriend. So
Yeah.
she already confirmed that. But please continue, Runs.
But you kept on saying husband, but that's okay. And it's abusive.
No, I said that, and then she corrected me. Do you not remember?
No,
He
I
doesn't.
don't.
That's why you sound like a fucking moron when you talk, because you don't pay attention to the conversation.
You're right, I
Your-
don't. But you know
Your
what?
your recall is terrible. But go ahead.
You're right. What did you just say? Sorry. All right. Oh, but you know, hey, what do I care? Because I'm not running for political office yet. Right? No, it's
Yes.
Right.
yeah, an ex abusive ex boyfriend suicide, and it doesn't mention that how jacked or beautiful he is, just that he was abusive. So,
Okay. So
and then that's about it.
Okay.
So,
Well, aren't you glad you had that synopsis from Ron's?
yeah, I'm so glad that he like wasted our time with it. Like, so what was the point? So because we didn't mention the entire plot line because we assumed that maybe you'll watch the movie.
Yeah,
no,
thanks
usually
for ruining it
reveals-
for everybody, Ron's.
Try
yeah,
not to,
but
like,
usually you
reveal the whole
reveal a
fucking movie.
spoiler to me. So,
Well, I
Right,
did. I
so-
said it's a suit. I did. I said it's a suit.
oh yeah,
Anyway, and then the other part of the movie, I'm watching it, and she's with her living with her friend because she's in hiding, and I'm watching that, and I'm like, this is a good looking black man.
He's
And there's
jacked.
a scene where he's wearing like he's about to walk out the door, and he's wearing a dress shirt and a tie and dress pants and stuff, and he's got like that perfect V back and stuff, and no fat on his flanks and everything. And I was looking at him, I was like, I'm like, yeah, I wish I was a well built black man.
Yeah. He's got some buff arms, too.
What about the lower
And-
half of you though? Would you have the huge penis?
I don't even know if he has a huge penis. You're just making a generalization that all black men have huge penises.
No, I'm just making a generalization that you should have a huge penis because you say you have a tiny penis.
He didn't say tiny.
He says he's
Oh,
had.
I do. I've said tiny. Sure, why
you
not?
have-
All the time I
thought you
remember
said small.
something, and now you're saying you don't remember, and you've probably seen it more than anybody.
Probably.
Probably.
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
Ron's like, you've probably seen it more than anybody.
How many times have you said, "Well, someone's not getting laid tonight"? Hey-o. So there you go.
I don't think you can do that, Ron's.
No, hey, yo, Ron.
Yeah,
no.
that's my thing. And every time you do it, none of us are like, oh yeah, that was good.
It
That was
doesn't
a good one,
matter.
Ron's.
You know what?
It's,
It doesn't matter. It's my little
that's-
world that I'm in right now, so I get to do it.
Yeah, but it's kind of my thing, and you're ruining it, and it's not good. It's actually really bad.
So when I run for political office, you can use that part against me. Hey-o. So anyway,
No.
No.
What would be your platform that you run on, Ron's, if you actually ran for public office?
probably wouldn't because I like standing, but I'll stand on cement if I can. What about you, Swan? What will be your
Not
platform?
funny. Not funny, Ron's.
I didn't ask for your opinion.
Oh, I'm giving it anyway. Not funny. I would definitely not run for political office
Why?
because I hate political stuff all around. What was
Just,
Ron
just shat himself. I just shat on a
just
turtle.
spat into the microphone.
Well, thanks for shitting yourself there, Ron. We're gonna leave that on. We're gonna leave that in. There's no point in me going back.
You want to defend it?
No.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, I never.
Notice how he tried to
He's
make
like-
it look like a sneeze.
like,
He
I
tried to
hate
make it look like a
beans.
sneeze.
tried.
I hate
I tried.
beans.
Well, you might need a new seat cushion, right?
Yeah, it's a good thing we got a couple extra. And thankfully, they're also kind of purplish brown, so I guess
They're
we're fine.
brown.
Well, they'll be brown afterwards. I don't know. I never gave it much thought about a political platform to run on. I really haven't.
You probably shouldn't, because you shouldn't run. But you're the one who said yet, so that's why I was confused. You're like, I haven't run for political office yet. I'm like, wow, why would you want to? Oh, God.
Because it's a greater good.
Oh,
That's a
yes,
great
because
No,
well, yes,
most
politicians
politicians are totally-
they're all about the greater good.
Not all of them. I'll grant you that. But there are
That's
some
what it's
people.
that's what it's founded on in this country, as politicians becoming politicians for the greater good.
I agree with what you're sarcasming about, right?
Sarcasm. That's a wrong word.
Sarcasming about.
I agree with what you sarcasm about.
I do. And in this great state of Oz, you know, honestly, there are some people who are out there who are nefarious, right? Current president, the last president that we had, right?
Look at him using big words.
Nefarious.
Nefarious.
I know he keeps using words that I don't even know if those are actual words.
Well, if Swan can use them, I can use them. So, our last president of the United States, you know, was he in it for the greater good or was he in it for himself? Right?
Well, clearly he was in it for himself.
There we go. So, but we've had past presidents who were in it for the greater good of the people. So,
like who?
Oh, what is it? FTR.
Do you really think that presidents run for the greater good, or they're just running for their own ego?
I think they run for the greater good. I really do.
I don't think so. What's the point of? I mean, being president has only one advantage: you're the most powerful person in the world. That's total ego. I don't think most of them run for the greater good. At least the last president, the president that we currently have, I think he only ran because of the person who was our president. He's like, shit, somebody's got to do something.
Wouldn't that be called the greater good?
No, he probably just didn't want to put up with another freaking 4 years.
Wouldn't that be also called the greater good? Because we don't know where we would be under him. So when you look at it, what's the lesser of two evils? Or
Yeah, which old white guy do I want? Do I want this old white guy or this old white guy or that old white guy or this old white guy?
There you go. So the greater good here prevails, or the lesser of two evils prevail, depending on how you look at it.
Blah, blah. I still think it's ego. Whatever. That's your opinion.
I know, and that's what counts.
I do not think most politicians run for the greater good. No, I think there's a very small percentage of people that do run for the greater good.
So I would be among those small percentage.
I only asked because I think it was funny. Like I think the boy would be a good politician.
I agree.
Yeah, I think so. He stays current on a lot of that stuff, and
even if you just ran for
overall-
city council, I mean, like even if you run for city government or whatever, I think he would be good at it.
Yeah,
I agree.
feel like overall he can see the good of both sides, or tries to be pretty neutral and see the good of both.
So why wouldn't you be a good leader there, Swan?
I didn't say I wouldn't be a good leader.
I didn't say that.
I just don't. I'm not political, and I don't want to be.
She's too dumb. She's not motivated.
Yeah,
there's
that too.
all kinds of reasons.
All of it.
And what about the Beaveman? Let's throw that question over to you. Would you be a good leader?
No,
He doesn't have any friends.
Not political. No, there's only one branch of the government that I am in full support of. That I feel like it's it's not a branch of the government. You know what I mean?
What would that quotes, air quotes, branch be?
Just the military. That's why I wouldn't be a good leader in regular political realms, because I only believe in the military's mission.
So wouldn't that make you more of a good leader because you would understand a strong defense?
Because as a member of the executive branch, you're not a member of the quote military. You can't run things the way the military runs things. The military is its own thing. It's an authoritarian dictatorship. I remember my sergeant, our colonel, told us that, or the commander said, "This is not a democracy. This is an authoritarian dictatorship. You have to remember that. We support democracy." It's basically true.
Yeah, but you are the commander in chief, which means you will oversee the entire military. I mean, you have generals under you, and
Okay, yeah, but the commander in
Yeah,
chief.
but
You think the commander in chief understands anything about the military? You think Trump understood anything about the military?
oh no, what the
Do you think
last?
Biden? Do you think Biden understands anything about the
No, I
military?
think the last leaders that we had that were military, I think, was Bush Senior and I think Reagan, because
Yeah,
those
but
were.
even then, Reagan was in the military. I don't think so. Was Reagan in the military?
I think he was. I could be wrong about that.
I don't know. If he was, it was probably like the National Guard. Who knows? And Bush Senior was, yeah, he was in World War II.
Yeah, but yeah, I think those were the last two.
I do not think I would be a good representative. No. Well, I mean, George W. was in the National Guard. He was like a pilot or something, wasn't he? The Air
yeah,
Guard.
I don't think anyone. I mean, maybe Ron's is less politically incorrect than us, but you can't be politically incorrect and run for politics.
No, I don't
I
think
mean,
so. You're not going to win for one thing, because you have to be political. That's what I always was surprised that. I mean, Trump won in the first place because he's not presidential, and if you want a representative, that word means something, to be presidential, like to be a certain level of professionalism that is respected in all realms. So
by all parties,
by
and
all parties, exactly. You can't
you
be that
can't
way if
be
you're a
so
complete fucking asshole.
one-sided and narcissistic in your own towards your own side and get followers. I just don't understand that, but
Yeah, I mean, to treat everybody like shit, whether they're on your side or not. He treated everybody like shit, so he was not presidential whatsoever. You take President Barack Obama, he was very presidential, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Okay,
I
Reagan
mean,
did serve in the military.
George W. also presidential. He was just really funny. I mean, he made me laugh. I mean, like, but you didn't think he was like Mr. I don't know. Maybe he was super smart. I don't know, but he didn't strike me as the smartest president that we've had. But maybe it was all an act. You never know. Great war criminal, I guess.
and I feel
So
like
they
the
say.
ones who have good first ladies are good too,
Yeah,
because
if you
that's
gotta. Yeah,
you have
I
a
agree.
good right hand or whatever they call it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Somebody who's on it, who's got the right agenda, for sure.
So
Who's
would the
classy,
Swan make a good
represents
first
well.
lady?
It wouldn't
No.
matter because I wouldn't be a good president.
It's a
So what-
hypothesis.
It's a high. I'm sorry. Did you say it's a hypothesis?
A
It's a hypothetical
hypotenuse.
situation.
It's a
Hypothetical
hypotenuse.
situation.
It's a hypotenuse.
It's a hypotenuse.
Do you even know what that is, Rons?
Yeah, it's a hippo.
No, it's not.
It's not?
Nope.
No.
Okay. But because
Yeah,
the
I'll
Beaveman
give you a
would be
clue, Rons. What part of the triangle is the hypotenuse?
the square part,
I don't know, right?
I don't know. So
Anyway.
since the Beaveman is Lord and Dictator or Master of the Universe, you will obviously have a mate to carry on your name, right? Who
What?
sired you
What? My
a daughter.
mate? I'm sorry. Did you say your mate? My mate carries on my name? That's
Yeah.
really weird.
Well, what is it like? The kings of England, they would marry, and they would bear. You had to have a son or a daughter. Since you have two, and the current one carries your name, would she make a great first lady?
I'm so confused by what he's saying because he said my mate carries on my name. What is he talking about? My mate would be that's the person that I'm with is my mate, not my
Yes.
child. Are you saying that my child carries on my name? Because my mate doesn't carry on my name.
I realized what I said. Throw it out of context, and I got kind of tongue twisted. But what I was saying was, would the Swan make a great first lady
No.
as the Master of the Universe's mate?
No.
No.
No, as a Masters of the Universe, she would be, yes, fine as a fellow Master of the Universe. She would be good, yes, but as First Lady, no. Which is why I
I
would not
can't
be a good
even
president.
eat without getting food on myself. So no, I would not be.
But as a Master of the Universe, you wouldn't have to worry about
I
that.
wouldn't care. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
That's the
can we
point.
ask? Can you tell
That's
me what
why
the Can you tell
that
me
is
what the
why
hypotenuse is
no,
again,
he
Ron?
can't. No, he can't. And you know why he can't tell you? Because you just fucking looked it up and you didn't know the answer.
I did know
That's
the answer. I just wanted to
no,
make sure I was
no,
not
no, no,
wrong
no, no,
before.
no,
I did.
no,
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 I wanted to make sure I wasn't wrong before
no, no. You wanted to
because no,
shut the fuck up. You wanted to make Ron's look like an ass, but you yourself didn't know if you were
I
right.
did. I wanted
So-
to clarify that I was
So
right.
here's the mistake that you made. You started looking shit up. We can see you.
It's fine. I don't care. I just wanted to. I knew I was correct.
No, I don't
But
think it's
I-
appropriate. No, I don't think it's appropriate.
So
You're
do
trying
I
to
know
make
what
Ron.
a hypotenuse is?
Can I have
Yeah.
a moment? Can I have a
No,
moment?
you're giving him time to look it up now, asshole.
No, the point is, you shouldn't try to make somebody look like a fucking asshole if you don't know the answer yourself.
This
I
is
did
coming
know
from
the
Steve.
answer.
This
And
is
you're
coming-
sitting
All
there
right,
looking
I'm
shit
done
up.
talking to you.
So
I
you're
know
sitting
the
there-
answer. I was
so-
just verifying because I didn't want to make myself
Hold
wrong.
on, Swan. I got
If
you.
you
back.
know-
Be adamant
you-
about
Got
it.
your back
No,
on
if
this,
you
Swan.
know the
He does this
answer,
to me
you didn't
all
have
the
to look it
time.
up.
No,
does it-
he said no. What he said was it was the right angle. There's not always a right angle in the fucking triangle anyway. A triangle doesn't always have to have a right angle.
Well, if you look at it from the right side, it does.
No, it doesn't. So anyway, I wanted to make sure I knew the answer,
Yeah.
but I was trying to see.
Once again, my point was, if you're trying to make someone look like an asshole and you say that you know the answer, then you didn't have to look it up. If you know the answer,
I didn't
if you're
have to
not,
know
No,
the answer.
Swan.
so you didn't
Swan,
know.
no,
If
no,
you
no.
looked it up, then you don't know the answer. You
Swan.
had to make sure that you were correct.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if you looked it up or not. It's just that he does this to me all the time. So you know what?
No, I don't. I don't make. So wait a minute. You're saying that I say something, and then I have to look it up to see if I'm right.
On occasion, then you have to.
No, I don't do that. I look to prove that I'm right.
Right, and that's what I was doing.
No.
Yes.
You looked at. Okay.
I did because I said no, you're wrong, and then you started talking. So I looked it up to make sure I was right.
Okay, but that's not what I do. I don't do that to make sure that I'm right. I do it to prove that I'm right because I know that
Yeah.
I'm right. That's a
That-
difference. That's two different things.
You're being dumb.
You said you looked it
Anyway.
up to make sure that you're right. I don't look it up to make sure that I'm right. I know that I'm right, and I make
I
it
know that
obvious.
I'm right.
And I make it obvious that I know that I'm right, and then I point it out
I
to
did
him.
make it obvious. I said, Ron, I said no, that's wrong.
So as the master of the universe,
Anyway.
he's always right.
He is. Yep.
And when you can change the laws of physics like he can, the balance of nature, he
That
can
would be
make it
sweet.
right.
That would be
Oh,
sweet if I could
holy
change
praise
the laws.
Beaveman.
That would be sweet if I could change the laws of physics as masters. Of the
That would be
Universe.
pretty sweet.
Yeah, it would be.
Like you could like just float in the air instead of fall.
But I would
You
have
know
to know.
what? You know
but
what? If
I
you
would have
throw
to know
yourself
the
at the
laws.
ground, you are technically floating for that split second. So he can defy gravity just for that little bit of moment.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
So what were you gonna say over there?
It's pointless for me to argue with dumb people.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
So
you do it all the time at work
Argue with yourself.
No, I don't argue with myself.
because he
No.
knows he'll lose.
Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to win.
That's that split personality.
Well, I think what we've learned today is that you can still be an altar boy even when you're 40.
Well, why couldn't
and a
you?
woman. You mean altar boy as a 40?
I'm just going to say altar boy. I'm going to say altar boy because altar person or altar server sounds weird to me.
How
so
about
I'm
an
just gonna go with that.
acolyte?
I'm pretty
Ooh.
sure actually when they started, and I'm sure I can't prove this, but when they started allowing girls to be the altar whatever, I'm pretty sure they called them altar boys.
Oh. Yeah.
Somebody
I
look that
think
up for
that's
me.
when they changed it to altar server.
No, I'm pretty sure they kept
Probably.
calling them altar boys for a while.
I don't know.
We'll see. Somebody look that up. Not you guys. Somebody in the audience, look it up. But I'm going with acolytes because that's pretty dope. It's pretty dope, going with acolytes.
And would you say our followers would be acolytes of the Beaveman?
Well, I'm gonna have to look it up and see what the actual word actually means. If there's multiple meanings to the word.
Only if
like
you
if
have
you're
like,
if you're a member, because I feel like if you're a member of a cult, you're probably an acolyte also.
Okay.
Gotta look it up. Gotta look it up and see. All right. Well, this has been fun. Not the prep. And if anybody in the Slaptail Nation knows of any good podcasting programs that you can run on a PC and a Mac that's inexpensive and extremely user-friendly and has great sound quality, please contact us because I'm in the market. I'm looking for something new. We want to get the best quality out to you folks. All right. And I guess that's it for me. That's it for me, the Beaveman.
Master of the Universe.
Master of the Universe.
All hail, Beaveman. I mean, we have to come. So that sounds like Hitler-like. So you need to come up with something that sounds.
I did not support that statement that she just said.
I just said, yeah, that's why I said we need to come up with something better because that sounds too Hitler-like.
Yeah, again, I don't support that statement. No? So she said it twice, and now my podcast has never been flagged before, but now it's going to be because she said the H word twice.
So I have something to ask before we sign off.
Yes, you can use the bathroom. Yes, you can use the bathroom before you go.
Okay,
home.
that's great.
Just wash your hands.
Oh.
There's a stoplight.
So you're at a stoplight, let's say at 10:30 at night. No one around. Someone taps on your window. What do you do?
Ask them what the heck they want.
At 10:30 at night when it's dark
I'm not
out.
Opening my window.
I don't have to open my window. I can say, "What do you want?"
Oh, interesting.
Why do I have to put my? I can hear through my window.
Like, I'm opening my window to let them in because I just feel they probably need something.
No, because that just happened to me.
So you opened your window? You tapped on somebody's window at 10:30 at night?
I was going to work, and I stopped at a stoplight, and someone tapped on my window at the stoplight, which I didn't see them coming up to my car at all. It was dark out. And they tapped on my window, and I ran the red. I hit the gas and ran the red.
Well, that's better than opening your window because I was thinking you were going to roll down the window and be like, yes, this is Ron's black belt wearing my utility belt. It is the middle of the fucking night and it's fucking dark and you might be an axe murderer or something, but let me see what I can do to help you. No, nobody comes to your window at a stoplight in the middle of the night without wanting something.
Oh, I agree, but it's just that I was all of a sudden I'm at the stoplight and I hear this tapping on my window. I'm like, what the fuck? So I hit the gas and I ran the red.
Were you in your car?
Yes.
You're in your Saturn?
I was in my car.
So the guy was able to keep up with you for a couple blocks, huh?
Well, yeah.
He was just casually walking along going, no, dude, can you just knock it on the window?
Yeah, that machete came out and everything like every other horror movie. So what would you have done in that situation?
You just asked us that question. Yeah, we just answered.
Your comedic response was that, but in your real, what would you do in the real response?
How is my comedic response was, what do you want?
Yeah.
Through the window, not rolling down the window. That's what he would have done.
Yeah. Well, you expect me to drive off? What the fuck am I going to drive off for? If I run a red light, what if there's a car coming?
No, I made sure traffic was clear.
Yeah, okay, I've heard that before, and then somebody hits a motorcyclist.
Yeah, I just said I made sure traffic was clear.
But
okay. I'm not the man who can, who's the master of the universe, who can wave his hand and make things disappear.
Traffic is clear. Funny thing that they always say about people who hit people on motorcycles.
Yeah, you're right. But then
what if you did hit somebody, you would have gotten a ticket because you ran a red light.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. I would have gotten a ticket.
Sounds like you just panicked.
I did.
Did you pee yourself?
No, I didn't.
Did you just pee a little?
No, not at all. But it kind of freaked me out because here it is dark at night, and I was at a stoplight. No one was around. And
maybe
all of a sudden
there's a hooker who wanted to offer you a free handy.
What's a handy?
You're an idiot, Ron.
No, I want to see where this is going. What's a handy?
Handy,
No,
happy ending.
You'll have to
Happy
elaborate
ending.
that.
Anyway.
Anyway,
So that's it for me. It's a weird question to ask.
So if you're stopped at a stoplight, what would you do? Yeah, okay, okay.
Okay, well, good question.
Okay, very well.
But like I said, if any good software out there, just let me know. Let the Beaveman know. Send us an email. You can check out our website, which nobody ever checks out because the Rons doesn't really monitor it or take good care of it. It's a mess. Probably just gonna cancel it. There's no point. All right. Well, that's it for me, the Beaveman. Saying adios. Booch fuckos.
Bye from the Swan.
and from the Rons, don't tap on my window.
Respect the tacos.
Hey, respect the tacos.
I said tatas.
Tatas, dummy.
Tacos are good too.
Dummy.